Right, so that is a dust grey kitchen, all been manufactured and now wrapped, ready for delivery, which we're going to be fitting this week. The customer has asked a favour if we can make him a wine rack, so that is what we're going to do now. Okay, so I've dug out the material I need to build this wine rack. I've done a quick sketch of for what it's going to be for the size and the cutting list. This is the material that I'm going to be using. This is a Kronospan board, which is the make, and this is called Albany Blue. And it's a wood grain effect, and then it's just an MFC, so it's a melamine face chipboard. We'll edge it all up, then we can start the production. But before we do any of that, I need a cup of tea, and perfect cup of tea. So we've got to start off with the Yorkies. Leave that 2 minutes, and then that's how you make a perfect cup of tea. Right, so that's been a few minutes now. The tea bag is brewed. Just if people that just put a tea bag in for 10 seconds and stuff, you're disgusting. Dash of blue milk. I do like it milky, don't get me wrong, but because the tea bag's been in for a while, you still get the strong taste, but I do like it milky. Okay, so the brew, let's get this done, get the extraction on, and start cutting up some wood. Okay, so that's all my components now cut up. So I've got my 2 side panels, a top and a bottom, 4 shelves, and a back. I've just done this as an 18mm back. I'm going to fit it internally. So this is going to need pocket holing on the sides, and one on the bottom and one on the top. So that before we do that, I'm going to get my side panels and my top and bottom and all my shelves all edged up on the edge bander, and then it'll be ready for getting built up. Okay, now on to the edge banding. This is my Lange B70 edge bander. I actually got this from eBay at an absolute steal of 1,400 quid. It heats up the glue on the back of the edging. It trims it flush either side, and then it also rounds the top and the bottom off. So when it comes off, it's done. You just need a quick clean up. Job's a good one. So now I'm just going to heat it up. It heats up to 300 degrees. It takes 5-10 minutes, and then we'll get the edge banding on. Okay, so we've now reached 300 degrees. I'm going to turn the router on and the extraction on, and we're going to pull them through. Okay, so that's the components now edged and cleaned. We're going to have 2 sides, like so, and then we'll have a top and a bottom that will fit flush with the bottom, like so. Obviously, these have all been edged. And then the back is going to sit inside. And the way I'm going to fix this is by using a pocket jig, pocket hole. So let's go and do that on the Craig machine now. Okay, so we're going to use the Craig machine just to do some pocket holes on the back. Like so. This means then we can fix it through the back. You won't see it. You won't see it fixes on the front, and it's nice and strong. There's obviously lots of methods of making things like this. You could pocket hole everything if you wanted to, but then you see the pockets. You could biscuit it and glue it and clamp it, but we ain't got time for that today. I've just got to get this done and go straight to the kitchen and start fitting it. So the method I'm going to use today is I've got all my things cut. I'm just going to sit them on like so, and I'm just going to screw through the sides because this is going to go in between 2 units, so you're not going to see the screws anyway. This way it makes it a lot quicker. Within 10 minutes this will be done and we can get cracking on. The only thing I have pocketed, like I've said, is the back, but that's going to be at the back, so you won't see it anyway. So that's the method we're going with, and it's going to take me 10 minutes. So all I'm going to do is sit those on there like so. Get it all flush how I want it, and then I'm going to work from above. So if I can just do that like so, get it right where I want it, like so, and then I'm going to Get my pilot drill. Very important that you pilot these things because you'd end up splitting the wood if you don't. Make sure your front's all nice and flush. So I've actually made this in the colour of the doors, not the carcass material, which was a dust grey. Just the fact that this will be pulled forward slightly and then the door will sit nicely so it'll all blend in. I have seen in the past people do them as the carcass colour, but I just think it looks nice if it matches the door. So then I get my drill out, get a pilot drill in it. I'm just going to go literally a couple of screws, 9mm in, 9mm down, and then probably 50mm in. Like so. Then I'll get my carcassing screws. And the loudest DeWalt impact in the world. This DeWalt impact is old. I bought it as an absolute bargain one day when I was in B&Q, and they retailed at about 150 quid, but I managed to, they were selling for 80, so I couldn't refuse. I bought it. I've had it a good few years. It was going to get thrown away, but when I took the unit on, I thought, well, actually, you can just stay in the unit, and it will come in handy, so that's the reason why I've still got it. It probably just needs some new batteries, to be honest with you, and it'll probably be good as new, but as long as you keep the batteries on charge, you'll be all right. It's just a bit noisy sometimes. Okay, let's do the bottom now. Like I said, it's very important that you pilot these because if not, then it end up just splitting. That's how you burn your finger. I'm not countersinking the screws. I'm not using a countersink bit. I am countersinking them, but they just do that. They just countersink themselves. So I'm just using a 2.5mm drill bit. You can get away with a 3mm on these screws just because they are quite thick. But I've got 2mm, 2.5mm to hand, so that's what I'm using. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that shelf out. I'm going to spin it over and do the same again. I like to work so that the front is always facing me, so I know what's the front, and then I can, keep it flush to the front better instead of having it at the back and having to reach around. I know where everything is. I'm just going to locate that up nicely like so. I am loving this colour, I must admit. It is very, very nice. So that's your sides done. What I'm going to do now is get the back in. So this is just going to sit internally. Hopefully I've cut it right. It'll go straight in. This will also keep it nice and square by putting your back in like this. We're just that little bit too tight. It's 1/4 mil out. I'm just going to trim that down on the saw. Right, yep. So that's now. I've now trimmed that down so it fits in very nicely. So what we're going to do now is use our pocket screws, Tren pocket screws, which are fantastic, and I use the coarse screw, which are actually stronger than, you can get a finer thread on it. This is the coarse thread. They're a bit stronger because the threads are further apart, so there's obviously more material in between each thread. Bet you didn't know that, did you? No, me neither, until I researched it. So yeah. And the pocket screw tends to pull in 1mm or so. So we just give it 1mm and then it'll pull it into where we want it. Young Nath's on the tea duties. Sugar's in the pot to the right. Very important that the first thing he learned was how to make a cup of tea, because he didn't know when he first started. And now he makes it like a pro. Isn't that right, Nath?
I make a terrible cup.
What?
We'll make it terrible.
All right. He knows the right way of making a tea. Our mate does. That was my favourite job. Was when I was an apprentice, making tea was my favourite job because it got me out doing 5 minutes work. Making tea for everybody. To go and collect the cups, wash the cups, make the teas. That's 10 minutes earlier than your break time. So that's the back in now. Brilliant bit of kit, the Craig is, because you won't see any of that when it's on the inside. And now I can get the dividers in, i.e. shelves. And what I have done is I know that these shelves are going to go in. The spacings are going to be 122 mil. So I've just made a pack of 122 mil, because I'm clever like that. We slot that in, like so. That's going to be that spacer, that's going to go there, that's going to go there. And then I can fix that in. Again, just screw through the side, couple of screws either side, and that'll be more than strong enough to hold that. You won't see the screws when it's fitted anyway. So now I just want my pilot drill. It might not be the prettiest way of making stuff, but not everything has to be pretty. It's just more of making it quicker and easier, without busting your bowls, because sometimes you don't need to. If it serves the purpose and does everything you need it to, then it's all right. There's loads of ways this could be made. You could have biscuited it, you could have pocketed it, you could have done 18 mil rebate grooved in the side panels and done it all like that and stuff, but you're just wasting your own time. Realistically, it's a kitchen wine rack. It doesn't need to be all singing and dancing. But when it's fitted, you ain't going to see the screws anyway. What I'm going to do is just quickly get a clamp on that there. No, I'm not, because that's not big enough. Bring out the big boy. And clamp that there like so. Spin that over. Cheers, pal. Nice and tight. That's what she said. And that is one wine rack. Bosh. Get a quick clean up in the van, then we'll go and fit it. Put your strip racker up. That is one wine rack ready to be delivered.